It's not like it's undoable. It's just you're adding money.
If you have family or friends that you visit a lot and they're just far enough away that going out to visit them and coming back the next day, it's a bit too far with an electric vehicle. You need something a little more complicated than a 120 volt outlet. I know that we have had issues doing that already. Coming out to visit my mother-in-law, it's 130 kilometers each way, and when it's winter, a 120 volt outlet doesn't cut it, especially when you drive around and you have to go visit other friends where you're going. You kind of want to use your car, and they kind of want to go for a ride too, because it's a Tesla and it's electric and it's something new. So what do you do when you have that kind of situation? Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to answer with this video, and it's really not that hard. It's actually pretty simple.
But first we have to get there. So it looks like a plug that you would wire into your electrical panel, but really this is just a fancy extension cord. It's through PVC pipe, and it then ties through a junction box into the basement, and from the basement it goes down and wires through another junction box, and then it plugs into your dryer outlet. Nice and easy. You can even do this with an extension cord. But there is something else you should do for all the hard work.
Well, thanks, Drew, for all that work.
Well, that's no problem, Ryan.
Here's some beer.
I hope it works out for you.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit faster than your 120 volt.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. So we're driving to the reason why I think you need more than a 120 volt plug when we drive out here. Because so when we came out, we drove around a bunch. Of course, everyone wants a ride, and you want to take them for a ride in an electric car. Or you just want to go out and do stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically the reason why you don't necessarily want to drive this way, like it's 130 kilometers for us, is because we need to be charged up enough to come back. So if we come out and go back and it could only charge on 120, it's really tight, like especially when it's cold out.
How much difference did the heater make? And
the heater, it's not a huge deal. Like when you're at highway speeds, it's more about aerodynamics. We would have to drive slower if we were running out of power, and it wouldn't be so bad. The car stays quite warm. So.
Does it tell you how many kilowatts the heater is using?
No, it doesn't tell you directly. It will tell you how much power you're consuming if you're just parked and that's all you were doing.
Mm-hmm. So if you had the heater on while you were parked,
mm-hmm.
then it would show you how much the heater was using.
Right. We have to do more little tests like that, and fun tests that show us how much power is being used, like for a longer period and on a cold, like a colder night or something.
What's the coldest you've ever been? Outside temperature?
Minus 30, minus 40 with a wind chill.
Minus 40. And how was it in minus 40?
Great. Car was warm inside. I actually had to turn the temperature down to 20 degrees Celsius because I was getting warm because I was wearing a warm jacket.
Right.
Because you get outside, you want to have a warm jacket on.
Right.
Right? I don't know. Like, does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good.
And it'll be on your left-hand side on the far side of the building.
And I think this is part of the Peaks to Prairies network or something like that.
I actually have not done any research into this whatsoever.
No. It's operating on the Flow network.
There it is, right there. On the corner.
Right.
But,
and thankfully, there's actually a spot we could actually park here and charge. So there is an actual spot right now.
mm-hmm.
And that's DC fast charging, direct current, and there's 2 for that. But you need another CHAdeMO adapter or CCS. I think one is CCS, one is CHAdeMO. Now the problem with that is there's no CCS for this car, the Model 3.
Okay.
The left side is AC.
So this here is going to use the inverter in your car to charge the battery.
That's right.
And this one is direct DC.
And on the right are 2 DC fast chargers with 2 different outlets. So if you get here and then you have to leave because there's already cars here, then you're plugging in somewhere else.
So imagine you get here and there is already one electric vehicle here charging. What do you do then? They need to charge, you need to charge. One outlet just isn't enough. Not if you need to drive back the next morning. That's the problem. One isn't enough.
Did you get your condo people to...
Still working on that. What we're looking for is something that's low current. So low amperage. Well, not that low, like 20 amps. And maybe just a 120 volt outlet.
Mm-hmm.
But where we have to pay for the power. And we'll pay for all of it.
Well, you must have a regular 120 volt outlet to plug your car in right now.
Well, and we're not even allowed to do that. And that's what we're looking into is another technology and product that we can pay for the power, and it's low load basically. So I think it's 20 amps to come out here. It's just far enough that we need something a little better. What a lot of people probably don't realize is that just an extension from the dryer outlet is probably all they need. Mm-hmm. Or if they're building new, sure, put in a new.
Well, it's not something that you can't do as far as wiring into your electrical panel. It's just in this particular case, there are no breakers left, and unless you want to put in a sub panel, which is a fair amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's undoable. It's just you're adding money. And it all depends really where is the electrical panel in relationship to where you want your plug-in. If the electrical panel is on the other side of the wall, obviously that's not as much work if it was on the other corner of your house. So
right.
It's not that you can put a timeline or a dollar value on it without actually looking at each specific application.
Right.
So it would have to do if your dryer outlet was close, then it's great, just like this one. But if it turned out the dryer was way over there, then
it's not so easy.
Then it's not so easy.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, thanks for coming for the ride, Drew, and thanks for all that wiring work, which wasn't really wiring work. but it certainly makes it easier to come out this way.
How much? It turned out to be $168 Canadian. Not too bad. So the result is just over 2.5 kilowatt charging rate, which is easily enough to charge within 11 or 12 hours overnight for our standard range plus. That does leave one question. Why are we not getting 240 volts?
Thanks for watching.
If you liked the video, then please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, then feel free to give us a thumbs down.
Don't forget to subscribe.
And if you have any tips or any questions about the car, tips for the videos, then feel free to, again, to comment. For more bite-sized content, follow us on Instagram at Rocky Mountain Tesla.